What are you doing?
Hey guys, welcome to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be continuing on in our Catherine Deneuve series, our Jacques Demy series, our Greatest Musicals You've Never Seen series. It's a lot to follow, I understand. The Young Girls of Rochefort. This is a 1967 French musical. It stars Catherine Deneuve, as well as Francoise Dorleac, her sister, as a pair of sisters living in the seaside town of Rochefort. The film also stars Gene Kelly. We'll be revisiting him in another video later on. This has been an ongoing exploration of the works of Catherine Deneuve. I really loved Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Obviously, who wouldn't? You should see it right now. Yeah, I've had Belle de Jour was okay. I'm excited to see the next iteration of Jacques Demy films. I've been putting this off for far too long, and this is the kind of pickup that we could all use in our lives. So yeah, and before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more old, obscure, and art house films. Okay, let us watch The Young Girl. Where's my headphones going? Okay, yeah, let's watch The Young Girls of Rochefort. And Michel Legrand, I didn't mention that the last time. Michel Legrand, he did the music for this. I know even less about Young Girls of Rochefort than I did about Umbrellas of Cherbourg, so I assure you, I'm coming into this absolutely blind. Here's Silver Color Stock. I didn't mention this last time. I didn't realize that Jacques Demy and Agnes Varda were married. That's a power couple. So where do they carry? What do they have in tow? Is it a giant milk truck? That's Bernardo. What the heck? That's the actor who played Bernardo in West Side Story. Oh! Oh, La La Land, you're such a ripoff. Oh no. I'm gonna watch another movie that La La Land ripped off. What the fuck? Are they gonna shoot with their backs to the sun like they did in La La Land? It's already oozing more sexuality than the whole of La La Land. If you liked La La Land, I won't blame you for it. Just won't bring it up. I know this song. Yo, this tune is so hot. They are so hot. Good summer movie. Good summer movie. I can be criticized for a lot of things, but programming is not one of them. Yo, that piano is bumping. Friday morning. Okay, starting to get an image that to me maybe had some more moolah after Umbrellas of Cherbourg. It's one ugly looking French man, incredibly French, incredibly ugly. I've been seeing the like the barrel of the lens a lot more in movies. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like a problem in my computer. But do you see that? I think I just recently saw it in like I watched Miss 45 recently. No, it was in Martin. I saw Martin recently, and I was seeing it everywhere in that. Oh, we're doing 2 dance sequences in a row. To me, you shouldn't have. Oh gosh. Girls, your uniforms are hot. Man, George Chakiris is talented. And the guy in the blue's got very sharp movements. Chakiris is very light, very fluid in his movements. He's got a very soft touch. We got that single shot again. Demi pulling out the brakes. Oh, what a transition! Oh man, we are not going to go through that window. Oh no! That's intense. Don't do it to me. That's too much. You can't go in there. There's gonna be a cut. What the fuck? You can't go in there. What a beautiful. What the hell? When's the last time we had a ballet class in this on this channel before? When was it? The Conformist. Not French, but Italian, and starring a French guy, Jean-Louis Trintignant. We can't have 3 musical sequences in a row. Are you kidding me? So real life sisters, with beautiful hats. Catherine Deneuve et Francoise Dorleac.
Mi fa sol levé par maman, qui toute sa vie défrite. Nous sommes toutes jumelles, nées sous le signe des Gémeaux. Mi fa sol la.
What a strange number. I love it. I am charmed out of my pants.
Génu, attendant de l'amour ce qu'il est convenu d'appeler coup de foudre.
I love these director dresses. One of the most iconic shots of Cherbourg was Deneuve looking straight on down the barrel of the camera and saying, "You are my king." And I love the paneling of their dresses. Love it already. Love it. God damn it. Don't believe, though, for a second that I'm not on to Demy and his higher production value, his Hollywood bullshit.
Bonjour. Frites. Frites. Deux frites.
Hey, it's their mom. She works at the French fry stand.
Bonjour, Madame Yvonne.
Ah, bonjour, Monsieur Maxence.
Maxence.
Toujours pas.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a perdu?
Son idéal féminin.
J'ai entendu sa voix.
Man, he's like as unattractive as Daniel Brühl. I don't mean that in a bad way. he looks as bad. He's as bad looking as Daniel Brühl in Rush.
Sûre qu'elle a oublié d'aller chercher Boubou. L'école est à 2 pas, derrière la place.
Oh, on veut bien, hein? Oui, on veut bien.
They barely touch their fries.
Qu'est-ce que vous le voulez?
Bonjour, mademoiselle. On vient chercher Boubou.
De quel droit?
La dame du café.
Oh, that's my
Vous
mom.
avez un sacré culot.
Vous êtes bien jolie, mademoiselle.
On me l'a déjà dit, c'est pas original.
On l'emmène, ce môme?
Je vais là avec eux. C'est pas un kidnapping?
With their hats on, no less. Oh God. Play them all down.
Et envieux parce que j'ai toujours envie de toi.
Au fond, je ne t'inspire que de très vilains sentiments. Mais c'est moi?
Oui, ma fleur.
How could you tell?
Tu m'avais pas dit que tu posais pour les militaires.
Le militaire. Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette histoire?
Appelle idéal féminin en toute
Oh
simplicité.
no.
J'aimerais rencontrer ce peintre.
Ah, dommage, il vient de quitter Rochefort. Il est à Paris pour quelque temps.
He's still at your mom's.
Si tu m'aimes,
I'm a little bit sad. I feel like this is kind of like stylized itself into a standard movie musical.
soupirerais-tu en disant excuse-moi, le temps c'est de l'argent. Évitons les amours aux lentes agonies et disons gentiment.
I like how the subtitles are trying to rhyme. Yeah, see, it's got like the musical comedy tropes of like all these like coincidences racking up, and there'll be like comic misunderstandings, and it'll all be resolved at the end.
Courant de bonheur en bonheur, préférant au pire le meilleur, la bonne humeur à la tristesse.
So who are these two going to be paired with? Your impression is that they're going to be paired with the sisters, but I'm under the impression that Delphine is going to get paired up with the sailor.
Attire d'elle dans chaque port, à cœur perdu dans chaque ville. Notre vie c'est le vent du large, l'odeur du pain.
Like, if that's the case, they've set up a lot of like potential rivals for Delphine's love.
Et le vent frais sur le visage.
And if that's the case, these two are not making it to the final to the final rose. See, look how soft and fluid Chakiris is in his movements.
Bien plus que la raison, le cœur est le plus fort.
Ma petite, je ne crois pas que ce genre de garçon traîne dans les rues de Rochefort.
There must be more than this provincial life.
Tu as laissé Boubou seul avec 2 types dans une ville pleine de guerriers, de sadiques et de peintres méconnus.
What's wrong with this town?
Ah, j'ai reçu votre papier à musique. Excusez ce fâcheux retard, mais l'installation de ce
He looks
magasin
familiar. Where do I know
terriblement
him from?
compliqué l'existence. Sa réussite, ses concerts, la gloire.
Oh, he's in Belle de Jour. I didn't know that. I think he's the like the family friend who Catherine Deneuve fantasizes about.
Je souhaite. Votre fiancée.
C'est pour elle, voyez-vous, que j'ai décidé de quitter Paris.
Ma fiancée trouvait mon nom très ridicule.
What's wrong with his name? Why is everybody like complaining about it?
Mais elle refusait le nom de Madame.
I see.
Dame.
I get it.
Faire exprès vêtues des jumelles.
Oh no! It's too much of a musical comedy. Just the amount of coincidences piling up. This is the sort of thing that, like, in a straight film would press against the edges of magical realism. But it's like quite normal within the confines of a musical comedy. Like, I had previously watched Top Hat and The Boyfriend for this channel, and in the case of Top Hat and the play within a play of The Boyfriend, this sort of like coincidence and artifice was like readily applied within the narrative.
Oh non, Andy était un homme intelligent. Et vous verrez que je suis sûr que vous l'aimerez.
So I guess we have to figure out if Andy's going to be in this town too, and if they already know him. It's weird. It's like kind of like Star Wars energy that they're playing up a little degree of romance between them, when I think that they might turn out to be related at the end.
Pardon, monsieur.
Laisse passer, mademoiselle.
So they got to flirt with the first sister, now they get to flirt with the second. Boo boo, boo boo.
T'es encore battu. Garde-moi ça. C'est pas gentil.
Yo, this boo boo is
Bonjour,
a
Boubou.
nasty fellow.
Qui vous voilà? Qu'est-ce que vous lui voulez?
Bonjour, mademoiselle. On vient chercher Boubou.
Je vais avec eux, j'en ai marre. Oh, tu n'auras pas de réglisse.
Oh no, what an introduction. Oh no, is this Andy? Gene Kelly, your hand is an old man's hand. Don't worry, we'll get our Gene Kelly musical in too. I mean, I guess this is a Gene Kelly musical, but a Gene Kelly musical in which he speaks English. Oh no, you dropped another thing.
Mademoiselle,
I'm not going to be able to get over that error.
puis-je vous revoir?
Je ne sais pas.
Yeah, that's going to be Andy from Paris.
Les gonfler ce type-là.
Oh no, no, that wasn't a mistake. He's gonna pick up the piece of paper and try and find her. That was a pretty natural slip then. Wow.
C'est un son mineur. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, mais je suis amoureux.
Gee, you can't fall in love that quickly. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like Gene Kelly, but you know, what are you gonna do? Man, Gene Kelly, he just wears polo as well as James Bond. I mean, they're really tap dancing, but it's annoying me that the sound of the tap is like so clearly put in post. Gene, he is giving off a little bit of the sense that he's getting on a bit in age, but he's still retaining a lot of the kind of like athleticism and physicality he had previously. If just tamped down just the slightest bit. We would like the little Austin Powers thing that's going on here. I'll say this for the guy in blue, he gets some heights on his kicks and his leaps.
C'est une histoire d'amour, je suppose.
Que voulez-vous que ce soit?
Wait, so how did she like never ever encounter Simone Dem while in this town this entire time? That's a bit too much of a contrivance. They got engaged.
Je suis tout émue parce que j'ai rencontré l'homme de ma vie.
He was an American in Paris.
On ne va pas moisir ici.
Vous êtes assez grande pour savoir ce que vous avez à faire.
Boubou.
Il a raison, du trou, ça va mal. Il y a toujours une guerre quelque part. C'est un ami de Pépé. Ils se sont connus à Salonique en 24, ils se sont trouvés la semaine dernière, ils ne s'étaient pas vus depuis 40 ans.
Hi all. Ooh. Hi all, this is Editing Hank. Usually I don't come on too much to interject on matters of theme, but upon rewatching the movie, I was actually struck how this was a subtle cue reinforcing the theme of fate, of characters' lives intertwining, of reconnection with old people out of your past, out of your past life, and I just thought it was an interesting point to illuminate. Who is Dutroux, you might ask? Wait, what do you mean I haven't shown him in the video yet? God damn!
Oh, she's wearing a sweater.
J'ai connu autrefois une jeune femme qui ressemblait un peu à ce portrait.
Does nobody in this town know Delphine and Solange? Do they just keep hold up the entire time? I mean, I guess the Cruz isn't like doesn't live in the Rochefort. I know who'd have thought a blonde girl. I like the open air play of this town, like bustling town center, and like all of the places of commerce and buildings, kind of like building off of that. And you can just hear the town square happening in periphery to all the like houses or building establishments. It's a very open window kind of movie. A lot of clear windows, a lot of open floor plans, and all the energy goes towards the town square.
Encore vous. Tu les connais? Oui, on s'est déjà rencontrés. Ne restez pas dans la porte, j'ai froid.
What do you mean you're cold? What are you talking about? There's no air coming in through the door. They've got their windows wide open. This is summer. Is there something in the color story of this that kind of like hints that they wouldn't be, that they're like complementary, but they won't like end up together?
Que vous pourriez peut-être faire un numéro.
Néanmoins, nous pouvons y penser. Nous avons vraiment beaucoup de travail en ce moment.
In terms of you being able to tell that it's overdubbed, they're just putting their hands right on the keys. And you could actually see in a small moment Solange noticing her, or not Solange, Francoise noticing she's putting her hand on the keys. I kind of like, in terms of the color story, I do like the sense of foreignness that's given to the two entertainers or the fair guys that not playing that trumpet very well. In terms of color story, a lot of the colors that are worn by the townsfolk is pretty soft pastels, and then these two fair guys are wearing hyper saturated colors. Of all the fourth walls this movie has broken, that might be the worst. They're a lot more nicely put together than oh my god, this is in true West Side Story fashion. This is going full quintet. Today the hours feel like. I'm not sure it reaches the fantastic highs of West Side Story's quintet, but I do like the effort. He's going off to do his own beau travail narrative. This is so cute. I'm like pretty worried, pretty assured that they won't end up with these two boys at the end, because Solange has to end up with Gene Kelly, and Delphine has to end up with the army guy. But they make a good quad. Absolutely unfair that George Chakiris can manage to be in two of the greatest musicals of all time across two different languages and countries. That's too much. It's a metaphor for sex.
Tiens, on a découpé une femme en morceaux rue de la Bienséance à 2 pas du château.
In musical parlance, this is the maybe like the 100 people, or the Not Getting Married Today song for you company-minded folk out there. A lot of tongue twisters in this one.
Ça te dit quelque chose, ça, Lola Lola?
Lola again.
On dit que l'on s'agite en milieu informé, que la population ne doit pas s'alarmer.
This is an interesting wrench to throw into the plot. There's suddenly a mad killer about. Now that I think about it, it's pretty brazen that these people from the fair are like setting up their grounds like in the middle of the town square. Did they get permits for this stuff?
Si, y avait du sang jusqu'ici.
C'était une petite vieille aux blanches.
Je que les blondes, mais ce n'est pas parce que vous êtes rousse qu'avec un couteau, je vous couperai en...
What a strange thing to be singing about. I love those dancers in the background. That is so cute. Just a wonderful framing. Oh my god. It's such a like a spring or summertime kind of feel to it. Just like love is out in the air. Everybody is transformed and transfixed by love. It's like a Shakespearean comedy or something. They're like transformed by the summer, by the seaside. There's just something in the wind. He's the kind of guy who uses the same joke twice. It's interesting to see him using the same kind of depth in Rochefort. This is something that I think is actually kind of a weird but interesting aspect of Demy's film work. I didn't really speak on it much with Cherbourg, or if I did, I deleted it. But Demy kind of uses kind of artistic flourishes almost at a whimsy, like with no specific aesthetic form to it. It's almost what I'd call is pastiche, and usually you'd assign pastiche to like less effective directors, you know, directors that are just highly referential and don't know how to derive their own aesthetic or form. But I think that the pastiche element is kind of, while I don't know whether or not it's intentional, it is indicative of Demy's kind of style. He is a director that is basically integrating just a bunch of different things that he likes and creating form out of that. And so while it's chaotic, I do kind of like, in this instance at least, I kind of do like the aesthetic excess or aesthetic lawlessness or chaos that's employed in Rochefort. It's a movie that's kind of, I'm sure it won't go entirely in this direction, but it's a movie that's kind of like descending into its own madness. But it's not like a madness of like, it's not a madness of like Apocalypse Now, of like a heart of darkness. It's a madness of revelry, of like the May Day, of the of love and emotion bursting forth, of the carnival, as indicated to a certain degree by the fair people who are coming in to put on a show. But this is actually a funny development, I was gonna say, because earlier Solange met up with Maxence, and now Delphine is running into Gene Kelly's character, Andy, and it's a fun kind of like little inversion to kind of pair up the couples, but only in proximity, and kind of like raise the stakes without like blowing their wad, having the couples meet too early. So this is a fun kind of like diversion of the romantic leads kind of like meeting the wrong lovers. But since the girls are twins, it's almost as though they've met the girl of their dreams again, but they're just off by a hair, and it kind of like raises the narrative or filmic tension for the audience just a little bit. Makes it a little bit more fun. Wouldn't he like absolutely know that she's related to Solange? Like I get with the case with Maxence that he's never met Delphine, so he wouldn't know that she exists. But Andy's already met Solange, so he should have an idea. And it's like important that they have like a good rapport with the twin sister, but not like the perfect chemistry. It's a nice little mix. This is so ridiculous. It's like exploding out. It's getting like more and more extreme. As a metaphor for sex, and with the presence of the sailors, this town is getting hot and harried.
Ça me fait vraiment plaisir de te voir. J'admire beaucoup ce que tu fais.
You guys should kiss.
Quelle réussite. C'est prodigieux.
They definitely have
Mais dans le fond, ça ne me surprend pas. Déjà au
Friends energy.
C'est drôle, je connais ça.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was just singing it to you.
J'ai déjà entendu ça quelque part. Mais où?
I wonder where.
Je vous ai déjà vu comme ça, face à face. À moins que d'autres femmes ainsi vous ressemblent.
He's a nun killer.
Prenez dans ce couteau. Vous allez, cher subtil, découper le gâteau.
C'est que je ne sais pas.
He's definitely the killer.
J'avoue que j'ai bien ri. L'astuce est consternante.
Quel est ce plaisantin?
C'est un peintre poète. Est-ce celui qui m'aime?
Yes, he does.
Dieu seul le sait.
La vie vous joue parfois des tours décourageants. J'avais perdu ma place, j'étais sans argent. J'avais bu.
It's a movie full of dad jokes.
Ensuite,
Oh my god. Could somebody get Moliere out of here already? These big carnivals that Demy shoots. All of these male dancers are some variation of Jack from whatever his name is from 30 Rock. Aesthetic excess. And they do look a little bit like, Who's he? Are we introducing another new character? I mean, I guess I'd say that, Delphine is a better dancer. Maybe much better dancer than Solange. Grosse personnage.
Tu es déçu?
Who are you? Who are you?
Je ne veux plus te revoir, Guillaume.
Guillaume.
Donne-moi moins des nouvelles de mon petit peintre.
Il est en Allemagne, en manœuvre.
Oh, he's the gallery owner. I'm an idiot.
Qu'on vous aime. Bref, on voudrait coucher avec vous.
Quoi? Pour ça que vous voulez nous emmener à Paris?
On prendra le train. Haha.
Vous n'êtes pas très
I like how
compréhensif.
spiky the girls are.
On voit très bien où vous voulez en venir. Toujours les types m'entraînent dans leur chambre.
What a wonderful look for these two. I love how wry these girls are. Like they're full of like cynicism and doubt and suspicion, obviously, because you know of the town they've been brought up in and the mother they have and the brother they have, but they treat it all with such like humor and warmth. It's just like it's kind of like it's a very kind of juvenile cynicism. Like not all is lost. It's just the kind of it's the kind of suspiciousness like one has for the world that hasn't yet been tainted by like the worst of humanity. They're like musical theater cynical. They're not like, you know, Greek tragedy cynical. And I love the attitude the men have. Like, this is a movie suffused with like love and people like being entangled in love and wanting love and desperately searching it out. But like nobody, this is in no way tragic. Nobody feels like a terrible backlash from being rejected. Like everybody keeps a degree of like warmth and the possibility of continuing on and finding it again someday and eventually. It's never like it's never somber in its attitude.
Tiens, mais c'est du trop. Le sadique avait gardé chez lui.
I knew it. I knew it. I told you.
C'est bien lui.
Why? Why have they included this murder subplot?
C'est vrai que ça va mal. Du trop.
Interesting. I mean, I guess like in some ways it's kind of like it's tracing the same kind of, it's kind of developing on the same themes as Fanny and Alexander, and also in Umbrellas of Cherbourg, that there is like misery and darkness in the world, and it's not unaware of that, but Demy's aim is to kind of elevate human existence through happiness and through lightness. So while this is a movie about kind of optimism, it isn't an optimism that is ignorant of the troubles of the world.
Et s'il nous aimait vraiment? Qui ça?
We've hit an interesting little crisis here where my subtitles have run out.
Et ton étranger? Je le verrai à Paris. Est-ce que tu peux être bête? Vas-y.
Mais oui, allez-y.
Je tremble. Quelle folie.
Quelle folie. How do people get berets to stick on their heads? Mysteries of life to me. It's very, very light, but I'm liking the little bit of the hangover sense that we're getting from this. There's kind of like a morning after kind of feel of just the slightest hint of self-reflection, or even a bit of like, not remorse, but like
À moi la vie.
Just like a bit of ache to it. Everybody's like calmed down and the rush is over and the characters kind of have to like recollect themselves.
Allons donc. Que Dutroux soit pessimiste, je veux bien, mais...
It's interesting to have a climax to the film happen before the narrative climax.
Et votre idéal?
Oh, ce sera pour la prochaine fois. J'ai laissé ma toile chez l'ancien. Vous pourrez passer la voir quand vous voudrez.
Just that easy. That'd be funny if none of them met up in this movie and they all met up in Paris later. Sequel bait.
Un ami de Solange, Monsieur Dame, est allé à l'école. Qu'est-ce que tu as dit?
Monsieur Dame?
Dame. Simon Dame. C'est un nom idiot, mais c'est un type très sympathique.
Did Maxence leave something there? Maybe he wants to leave a painting for Josette. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he did leave something. Oh, that sucks. Just the slightest tinge of narrative tension, still keeping things taut. Just waiting for the absolute last second to release everything. Like, while this is a very kind of lighthearted and fun film, it like also, in terms of the narrative strings, despite how simple they are, keeping so many of them held at a narrative tension, it's like a very taut, like, rubber band. There's just like, it's waiting until the absolute last moment to release. And it's just like an immense release of dopamine.
C'est vous, Andy.
Ouais, c'est moi.
Je l'ai cherché partout.
Moi aussi, je vous ai cherché partout.
Ooh. Ooh. It's like it's like Avengers, Infinity War. Run from it, deny it. Fate will come for you. All these characters kind of have this like kind of subtle relationship with like destiny and whether or not they want to meet it with reluctance or with joy, and just a little hint of the enjoyment of the film is kind of seeing how they come to terms with destiny. That little twinge of fear that Solange has before she goes out to meet with Andy, to a degree like in like a metatextual way. It's kind of like she knows it's gonna happen, and she's like has the slightest fear about it. But we must all meet with our destiny. That was beautiful. That was like strangely like cerebral and passionate and intimate in a way that the rest of the movie had not been building up towards. See, and this one is like kind of like joyful and youthful and like comparatively chaste. The Solange and Andy scene was like strangely sexual. There's like a lot of different types of explosions happening with this ending.
Où vas-tu?
À Paris.
Attends ton peintre, tu perds ton temps.
J'irai en Allemagne s'il le faut. Mais je le trouverai.
Dépêchez-vous, on vous attend.
Alors je n'ai pas là?
Tant pis pour elle.
Tenez, la voilà.
Non, c'est Josette.
Attendez-moi.
I kind of like for this ending how Delphine is the one pursuing Maxence as opposed to the other way around. I kind of like this just slight hint of like energy and self or like internal engine for the character. She's not like just a girl to be pursued. She has her own desires that she's running after. Oh, these dance sequences are so beautiful. Yeah. And they're kind of like an interesting they're all like iterating on kind of the theme of love and coupling. It's so weird. The fair itself is like the carnival is like this kind of weird kind of like symbolic device. It's like the wind that blows in and changes the town, and all these kind of like sexual dysfunctions or loose threads or loose connections are kind of repaired by the fair entering in. Is he on the wrong truck? No, he isn't. They've met each other. Are they not going to show it? That'd be such a tease. They're not showing it? That's so good. You can't do that. That's so good. You can't do that. Don't mind me. I'm having an emotional response because we've just been in lockdown for such a long time, and this is just like a kind of like powerful film about like connection. It's not, I won't say it's like deep or anything, but it's kind of like it's a very simple and sincere rendition of like kind of like just animalistic energy and the urge we have to find and connect with other people. And I just love the like the little illusion that's left with Maxence getting into the car that getting into the truck that Delphine will be on. It's sequel bait. It's the power of suggestion. Yeah, in some ways, I was kind of like narratively, I was left a little bit unsatisfied by kind of how closely this hewed towards a traditional musical comedy narrative. Like, this wouldn't be so different from The Boyfriend or Boys from Syracuse, or what's in, like, I'm trying to think of like an incredibly structured comedic musical comedy, or Candide, or Top Hat. I don't know. In terms of presentation, in terms of execution, the films seem so powerfully about like coupling and connection and almost destiny. That connection, that coupling, that pairing is something that is so fundamental to life, that your life will be unlived, unexamined if you don't relinquish yourself to it and find your destiny in somebody else. This is kind of like, for me, a very, very powerful movie about human connection, which is strange to say because it's a musical wherein almost none of the characters meet up with their lovers until the end, but the feeling of want, of desire, is like felt throughout the film, and the blushing and bursts of emotion that are expressed through music, through singing, through dance. There are all these kind of like entreaties for love and for warmth and connection that's eventually fulfilled in the end. Great ending. I wasn't expecting to be surprised by anything at the end of Young Girls of Rochefort. I'm kind of brimming with thoughts about this movie. It's like narratively very simple. Stylistically, I think there's a lot of questions and ideas that it poses that could use another look. So I'm gonna take a break and think about it later. Maybe rewatch it pretty soon. Yeah, that was Young Girls of Rochefort. I really liked it. I was a bit antsy at the beginning, and then it turned out to be a full, blushing, beautiful presentation of love across all ages in a kind of Shakespearean comedy fashion, just like showing a true kind of spectrum of the experience of love. Yeah. I'm not making much sense. I'm gonna watch this again. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below with your favorite movie musicals, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, keep watching good movies. Really surprised. I really love this.
Je ne connais rien d'elle et pourtant je la vois. J'ai inventé son nom, j'ai entendu sa voix.
Hey, so I did end up watching it again, and thinking about it, and the theme of fate, of destiny, was forefronted so strongly upon a second viewing. I can't help but think of this movie as one of the strongest experiences I've ever had with the theme of fate and destiny as a manifestation of love and human desire. It actually helped contextualize Umbrellas of Cherbourg for me as well. I think both of these movies are about time and about destiny, its ability to resolve negative tensions. I think Cherbourg kind of shows the lamentable side of it, where characters believe that they have a destiny and destiny drives them apart, and that's super sad, but they also learn to heal through that process and given that time. And in this one, it's kind of it's been inverted, and people who have lost opportunities and missed a chance at love and were unable to find it still hope and still dream, and destiny as a manifestation of force for human love and human kindness eventually gives them a second chance. And I felt that so deeply watching this movie a second time. It was like watching a Gabriel Garcia Marquez magical realism, century-spanning story condensed so thoughtfully and so subtly into a rudimentary musical comedy. Yeah, I have a hard time speaking about how much of a force this movie is for good. You should really see it, and you should watch it over and over again. Please, please, please. And until next time, keep watching good movies.